James, Lee, we're just a few days away now from your 7th fight and your first 8-rounder, James.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be my first 8-rounder, English Challenge belt, so I'm looking forward to it, more or less on my home turf at the Macron Stadium. We've fought there before, haven't we? It's a lovely venue. The support's been fantastic this time.
Between this time, it's been great every time.
I know. Well, it's been every time, but we've like I say, they've stayed there and they've bought another ticket this time as well.
160, 150, 160 I think, in it this time.
So it's going to be loud in there. I'm just really looking forward to it. Can't come to go any better. It's literally been a big 15-week haul, this one. Lee got me some fantastic sparring.
Well, I mean, you've got to include your last fight as preparation for this fight, wasn't it, really?
Lee, yeah.
That was only 6, by the time you stepped through the rope, 6 weeks.
6 weeks on next Saturday, yeah. We fought at the Victoria Warehouse.
Good fight, set a good pace and put a really good performance in. Well, but we knew it was going, that was just like I say, just adding on, and we had a day off, I think a day and a half off.
One day off, yeah.
And then back in again.
Well, I come down and we did a little, I followed you for the day, didn't I, where you're doing a bit of training, when you few your runs and everything, and you look phenomenally fit.
Thank you.
And as always, you look phenomenally fit again.
Yeah, well, it's...
better, aren't we?
That's what we work for, we get some good cardio in, and like I said, I think the main key to boxing is fitness. Once your fitness goes, you can't do anything that you've prepped in the gym, and you can't do anything that you've worked on. So if the fitness is there, I believe the punches, the sharpness will be there. And
well, do you know something? You know, I remember. Was I speaking to you just before, or was it just after you'd sparred him? But you were fortunate enough in this camp to spar Terry Flanagan.
Yeah. So thank you very much to Terry for getting me involved and helping him for his last fight.
And not just once, but twice.
Yeah, we went down twice, didn't we?
Yeah. But 16 rounds.
Yeah.
Now, could you believe that a year ago that you, a kid from White Collar, sparring 16 rounds with a former world champion?
Well, that's what John Evans said to me. He said, "This is obviously your biggest milestone yet to come from where you've been and how you've got here, and to go and end up sparring within it, well, just over a year, 14 months to go and spar Terry Flanagan, and to get the phone call back to go and do another 8 rounds of him."
Well, now you just mentioned John Evans there. Now John and me are friends, and we chat a lot. Now John works for Box Nation, a bit of a pundit, and you know he predicts quite a few things, and a few things that he's been predicting rightly where no one else has been. He's been right. He said Josh Warrington would win, and Josh did, and then he said Ryan Doyle again. Both these guys, massive underdogs. He said he'd win. He's also tipping you now, so that must give you great confidence to know that someone of his knowledge believes that you're good enough to go to a few more levels yet. Yeah,
I think it's because I've got laser coaches tipping me. No, like I said, I really like John Evans, and I've had a couple of good chats with him recently. He watched one of the sparring.
He was at the sparring.
He watched the last sparring with.
He was saying to me in between ranges, where he's come from in 12 months. Said he wouldn't have believed it, but if you'd have told him he'd be sparring with Terry Flanagan 12 months ago. I said he couldn't believe it when I rang him up and told him I was in Wales, wasn't I? And Steve rang me. I said, "What are you doing tomorrow morning about 10 o'clock?" I went, "No, why?" I said, "We're going to sparring with Terry."
I spat my Costa coffee all over me.
He went quiet for a bit.
Well, you know something as well. You know, like I say, I've been fortunate to follow your journey from the beginning, and I was never really sure where it was going to go, because you started off as a middleweight, you know,
I did.
And then majority of fights have been fought at light middleweight. And now we're going into a realm that you've not been before, where you're talking as welterweight.
We're going down to welterweight.
We dipped his toe in before. We knew we could. Yeah, we got a 10. Was it 10?
We got a 10-10 with Daniel.
10-11.
Yeah, 10-11. Yeah.
Just thought to see how we felt, and to go in against a welterweight as well, or around a welterweight. And he made the way easy. So,
but what we touched on before was, like we were saying, we've not actually said, right, we're going to make welterweight. We've just kind of trained that hard, and we've just trained, and it just all of a sudden we're just like, listen.
Well, it's insane.
Well, we was looking at the welterweight division now, and that's wide open now, the welterweight division in Britain, because a lot of the big guys, Amir Khan, Kell Brook, a few other lads, have all moved up now, and they've moved up to the light middleweight division, which is sort of like opened up. You know, you look at that top 10, and I suppose outside of Josh Kelly, there's no one that you probably fear. You know, if say everything goes the way it's been going in perhaps 4, 5, 6 fights, I bet there's no one there that you'd be fearful of going in with.
No, in all fairness, I'm not fearful of going in with anyone. I know I know my own ability, and I know what Lee gives to me, and like I said, I never look past anyone, and that's my main goal. I'll never ever look past anyone. We got Jordan Granham, so we got to get this fight done. Like I said, because we know where we've come from, and like you said, White Cord, this to me now, my first title fight is a world title to me. This has probably been my best title, hopefully, I'll ever win, because it's always your first one. And whatever I go on to do, I don't know where I'll end up, but this will always be the most prestigious for me. I know it sounds daft, but
you remember that first one, don't you?
We didn't know, within 7 fights to get a chance to fight for a title, we never expected that in a month or Sundays.
Have we mentioned that you're fighting Nathan Hardy? I don't know if we have, but that's who you're fighting on this Saturday, Nathan Hardy, which is, I don't think you can really class Nathan Hardy as a journeyman, because he's basically, I think he's been a pro just over 2 years. I think this is going to be his 33rd fight. He's got, I think, 7 wins on his record. Very rarely gets stopped. If so, it's by really talented kids.
He's very similar to who was first. I think it was Chris Monaghan. I think he pulled out with the shoulder injury.
Oh yeah, Chris Monaghan.
Well, Chris is retired now. That's what he through his injury. But I don't even think you can say that, because I think this Nathan Hardy, I like him. I did a little interview with him when he beat one of our fighters on our show in Liverpool. He beat Lee Quinn. Yeah. And it was a really tough fight.
Luke was there. Luke was there, and we came back, and Luke said, keep your eye out, because we've known his name's been coming up a few times in maybe.
But he's fought on a lot of our shows. Fought all quality. He's fought Kane Gardner, took rounds off Kane Gardner.
He's fought likes of Lewis Ritson and people like that.
And
well, I was a bit gutty when I found out that I weren't fighting Chris Monaghan with his record. And
But for me, I no disrespect to Chris, perhaps a harder fight. His record may not say that, but actually it is, because he's won 7 fights on the road, where you're not given any advantage at all. He's lost a lot of fights where it's been by 1 point on the road, so perhaps there could be about another maybe 6, 7, even 8 fights on there that could be wins, which means his record would end up being nearly 50-50 rather than I think he's, like I say, 7 wins, 22 losses, 3.
I don't know.
I think he's got 3 draws.
I don't looked much into that.
But he's only been a pro 2 years. A great fight for you, because he's coming to win.
And he's going to come. This is going to be his first. Probably, I don't know if it's his first chance at a title, but he's going to want the title himself, isn't he? So, like I said, we've worked hard. We've always trained for guys like that. We knew it was coming. We knew the Nathan Hardy treatment was coming. So we've always trained for that, and we've worked hard in the gym. We know his movement is a bit unorthodox with a lot of stuff he does. So
got a few surprises.
I'm quite unorthodox as well when I fight. So I think it'll be a quality fight, because, like I said, I'm gonna take it to him from the first round. That's my plan.
And he's gonna bring it, which means he'll make a good fight, won't it? So.
Like I said, I'm not gonna start calling shots saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that." But like I said, I like a fast-paced fight, and I will go straight away. If it goes 8 rounds, it goes 8 rounds. I'll enjoy them 8 rounds, and it'll be nice to get a good fight against a lad who the openings will be there, because like with Jordan Granham, he tucked up like a bloody shell. But once Nathan starts swinging with me, I can find them openings and then work on what we've been working on in the gym. We've been really switched on this camp. Well, we've always been switched on.
So what happens then after this fight? Win or lose, that's your fight number 7. Are you looking for having a little break and waiting till the beginning of the new season then? Which I think our next show is on September the 15th.
I want if Steve's okay with that.
We're on again.
I want that fight. I want the 15th of September. I'll probably have a week off, but like I said, I'm going to stay in the gym.
For a couple of weekends.
Enjoy the weekends, enjoy the weekends, 2-3 weekends. And I just want to stay fit. I don't want to go unfit and then get back in the gym and struggle again. I want to stay around this point.
But 2019 is a year where you'd be hoping to try and move up to maybe even get into that top 10.
150%. Is that the world's my oyster now? I want to
fight by fight and performance by and up to now. We haven't. Obviously, we can pick holes in bits and bats, but everybody else has given loads of credit, and he hasn't put a foot wrong yet. But we're expecting him to bring something different, Nathan, which he will do. He'll come and have a go, and I think it'll bring the much better fight to it.
Definitely. I've watched a couple of Nathan's fights this week, and when we found out we got him, and he was just a bit more like I can see where like you were saying, he'll non-stop coming forward.
No, he doesn't know any other way to fight except for fight.
His chin warms up, he keeps walking forward.
Which is what in fact I did a little interview with him, and if you see, he's been wobbled on a few occasions very early on in the fight. But once he gets past that round 1, round 2, then suddenly, you know, he seems to be invincible.
100%, and I'm happy. I'm happy to fight. I'm glad I've got. I class this as my biggest fight to date with opponent-wise. I believe Nathan Hardy's just as good, like you said, as Chris Monaghan would be.
Without a doubt.
So it's one of them. I'm ready for it. I can't wait. Get in there. Listen to what Lee's game plan is, because, as you've known, we stick to game plans, and like last time, the game plan always.
Well, you know something as well as your fight being a cracking fight on there, we've got a few other good fights on there as well. I mean,
we've been on about that this morning.
He was talking, I think topping the bill there is going to be Dale Coyne against Nick Gemman, who has got a pretty good record. I think he's got 20 wins or maybe 21, 11 losses, but those losses have been to quality kids. A little bit of strange. It's sort of like a bit of a 50-50 record in his first part of his career, but then he started winning. He seemed to like it and continued to do that until he got in with the better boys, Tommy Langford, Liam Cameron.
Did Luke Blackledge fight him?
No, but Liam Cameron stopped him, I think, in the second round, and he fought Andrew Robinson, who just fought at the weekend, and lost a very close fight to him for, I think it was his IBF or IBO or something, or WBO.
Well, you know, it's going to be a good night of boxing. Like you say, you got Dale and then you got Jack Cullen as well,
and a lot of other local lads on there.
Jack Cullen fighting for a title as well?
I think he's fighting an 8-rounder. I'm not sure what it's for. It might be an international challenge belt, something like that. I don't know, mate. Things changes on our shows, don't they?
And the undercard's great as well.
Yes, there is. So I think there's 10
or 11 good fights, and all of them will be good.
All good lads. We've got young Luke Evans making a comeback from that horrific knife injury that was, I think, about a year ago. That was. So.
And Mark Thompson's coming back as well.
Yeah, he's preparing because he's off to Africa later on next month, where he's fighting for a title.
I feel that it's great to get everyone together in my hometown, more or less. You know what I mean? I'm always to get a big show like that. We're travelling to Manchester and Blackpool, Winter Gardens, for places like that. We've got Bolton. It's round the corner. It's a fantastic night of boxing, and I think for the fans, it's win-win for the fans in every way, shape and form.
Definitely.
So
they'll be struggling to pick a fight tonight out of all them. Some good fights on.
No, I'm fighting that. Don't worry. Don't worry about that. In your eyes, anyway.
Right. So June the 16th, this Saturday, down at White's Hotel. You're going looking for win number 7 and picking up your first little belt.
My first professional title and the most prestigious one ever out there. It will be mine come Saturday night, and I cannot wait.
All right, lads. Listen, look forward to seeing you very much, Lee. Take care. Bye.
Bye, mate.
And something you forgot?
Yeah. Can I just mention my sponsors, please? I'm not mentioning them. I'll just put them on here now. So we've got, and then there's the back here, and then Maiden's Butchers from Inley, who do all my food. So thank you very much, Lee.
See you later, lads.
See ya.
Bye.